and welcome back to my channel. My channel is called Professional Video Creation Tips, and my name is Mike LaValle. I'm the owner and CEO of Triple M Video Productions out of St. Petersburg, Florida. I have over 20 years of experience as a television executive, writing, producing, and directing. So what we do on this channel is each week we give video creation tips to turn do-it-yourself videos into more professional looking ones. So if you like what you see, by all means, hit subscribe, drop a like, we always like that. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask them down in the comments section. I'll be happy to answer them for you. And if you happen to be on your phone, make sure you go into YouTube and make sure you're go into YouTube settings and make sure your notifications are turned on so that you don't miss any of our content. So for this week's tip, we're going to be talking about eating in your video. You know, when you're making a do-it-yourself video and for some reason you want people to eat, maybe because the setting is a restaurant or maybe you're, at your house, but you want to make a video of your family and the only time they're together is when they're all around the table on a holiday or something, along those lines. Basically, any situation where somebody is going to be eating on your video and maybe you want that, but here's this week's tip. You should probably avoid it, or at least, don't have prolonged shots of people eating, especially if they're talking, because what you end up with is, somebody trying to talk while you're recording them, and if they're eating food, you get jumbled words and you get spittle at the camera if you're probably not going to be that close to them, let's be honest, but still, most people are not going to look very attractive when they're on camera and they have food in their mouth, so I would try and stay away from it, but that doesn't mean you can't, it doesn't mean you can't do it. It just means you have to be kind of subtle about it. Have people just take small bites when they're on camera, something they can chew really fast and it won't, fill their cheeks up and gurgle their words. And even, drinking a drink, like small sips. Next time you're watching your favorite TV show or a movie and the setting is where people are eating and drinking, if you notice, most of the time, they won't touch the food. They'll just have a conversation. Some movies they will, don't get me wrong, but if you notice, they will take very small bites, very small sips of whatever they're drinking. Always keep in mind as well that when people eat, especially maybe they're eating something that's dark colored, like caviar, and don't forget that if you have a prolonged scene or, you're recording them just a few minutes after they're eating, like they might have stains on their teeth, or somebody could take a bite of something and the taste catches them off guard. Maybe it's sweeter than they were expecting. Maybe it's more sour than they were expecting, which leads to making a sweet or sour face. I wasn't expecting that kind of face. So there's always that to watch out for. And there's always the issue of getting something caught in your teeth. And then, later on, especially if you're continuing to record, then they end up with something on their teeth and nobody really notices till later. And then you're watching the video and you're like, oh, dear God. Those things always tend to happen when you least want them to. So be cognizant of that. That pretty much does it for this week's tip about eating on your video. If you do it, small bites, small sips, have the food there for the atmosphere setting, but if at all possible, if your talent is going to be reciting lines that you've written, don't have them eating while you're recording them. So you could have just the food there and just, have them give their dialogue while the food sits there. So that's pretty much our tip for this week. Try to stay away from eating in your video as much as possible. Is it impossible to do? No, but it will make things harder on you. And that's this week's tip. So I'm Mike LaValle. I'm the owner and CEO of Triple M Video Productions, and can't wait to talk to you guys next week when we come back with another tip. Until then, I will see you soon.